We had planned this weekend for weeks, a chance to escape the city and relax in a remote cabin. There were five of us: me, Sarah, Jake, Laura, and Ben. We found a listing on an Airbnb site. The pictures showed a charming wooden cabin surrounded by tall trees with a small lake nearby. It seemed perfect. When we arrived late Friday evening, the place looked just like the pictures. Maybe even better. The air was crisp, and the sound of birds and rustling leaves welcomed us. Inside, the cabin was cozy, with a fireplace, wooden furniture, and soft lighting. It had no Wi Fi, which we thought could make the experience more authentic. We planned to play board games, tell stories, and just enjoy the peace. Things seemed fine at first. We unpacked our bags and laughed about how we were surviving without the internet. After dinner, we decided to explore the cabin. There was a small attic locked with a rusty padlock and a basement we didn't even bother to check. It was dark, and none of us felt brave enough. We joked about how every horror movie starts with people exploring places they shouldn't. Let's not be those people, Sarah laughed. That night, we sat around the fireplace, telling scary stories. Ben, who loved anything creepy, told us a story about a haunted house he read online. We all laughed nervously, but deep down, I could feel the atmosphere shift. The cabin felt colder, and shadows danced on the walls, making me uneasy. Around midnight, we decided to go to bed. The first weird thing happened when Sarah and I were brushing our teeth. The bathroom mirror fogged up, and for a moment I thought I saw writing on it. I wiped the mirror, but nothing was there. I told myself it was my imagination. I woke up around 2 a.m. to a strange noise, a tapping sound. I thought it was a tree branch hitting the window, but when I looked outside, there was no wind. The tapping continued, and I realized it was coming from the living room. I got up quietly and peeked down the stairs. In the dim light, I could see something. Someone standing near the fireplace. My heart raced, but when I blinked, the figure was gone. The next morning, I didn't mention it to the others. I didn't want to sound paranoid. Over breakfast, Laura said she heard footsteps outside her window during the night, but we dismissed it as animals. Jake found scratches on the wooden floor near the fireplace, but we laughed it off as wear and tear. Deep down, I felt something wasn't right. Later that day, we went for a hike. The fresh air helped us forget about the strange night. The forest was beautiful, but very quiet. No birds, no rustling leaves, just silence. At one point, Sarah pointed to a tree with strange carvings. They looked like symbols, but none of us could figure out what they meant. Ben joked that it was probably just kids messing around. When we returned to the cabin, the front door was slightly open. I was sure we had locked it. Inside, everything seemed normal, except for one thing. It said, "Leave now," in what looked like charcoal. We all froze. Jake laughed nervously, saying it was probably a prank from the owner or a previous guest. But I could see fear in everyone's eyes. That night, things got worse. As we sat in the living room, the lights flickered. We heard footsteps upstairs, even though we were all downstairs. Sarah grabbed my arm and whispered, "This isn't funny anymore." Jake and Ben went upstairs to check, but they found nothing. When they came back, Jake's face was pale. "The attic door is open," he said. We all decided to stick together in the living room for the night. No one slept. We kept hearing whispers, faint but unmistakable. At one point, the fireplace lit up on its own. Laura started crying, and Ben tried to calm her down. I wanted to leave, but it was too dark and dangerous to drive through the forest. at night. By 5 a.m., we packed our bags and decided to leave at first light. But when we tried to start the car, it wouldn't work. The message on the wall had changed. Now it said, "You can't leave." As the sun rose, we desperately packed our things to leave the haunted cabin. Ben tried starting the car again, but it wouldn't work. Whispers surrounded us, louder and more terrifying than before. Inside, the attic door slammed shut, and on the coffee table, we found a photograph. It was a photograph of a family with their faces scratched out. Written across it were the chilling words, "You were warned." Panic, we ran into the woods, ignoring the car. The forest seemed alive, the trees clawing at us as we fled. After what felt like hours, Jake's phone finally got a signal, and he called the police. When they arrived, they found nothing strange in the cabin. No messages, no photo. But we knew what we experienced. Even now, we never talked about that weekend. The cabin taught us one thing: not all adventures are fun, and some mysteries are better left alone.
I hope you liked this story. If you could improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend. Thank you very much for your support. Take care.